Okay, so let's try again. Love these new gadgets and stuff. Can someone let me know? Can you see me? Can you hear me? And can you see the astrology wheel? Um, okay. Can someone let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me, if you can um can you see me? Can you hear me? And can you see the chart wheel? I can see and hear you. Great. Can you see the chart wheel? Yes, yes, and yes. All right. Awesome. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your patience while I got all of this sorted. It's been a bit of an interesting journey trying to get it all together. So, as many of you probably remember, I've been talking about this for a while, about this big project that I was going to do and this huge thing that I've been putting all of my time and my effort into. And basically, this is it. So here we go. Today is D-Day, or launch day, as they say. Let's not say D-Day. That sounds really, really ominous. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of Radiant Reality. I'm a little bit nervous, as you can probably tell. So I have basically finished everything that I needed to. And so what I've done is I've created a Kickstarter. If you want to support Radiant Reality, you can do so on that link in the description box below. But just so you know, there are amazing offers that I have as part of this. Let's get ooh, nearly. Let's do that. So the wheel's back. All right. So if you want to grab yourself, Radiant Reality has had an amazing growth. It really has. And I'm super, super grateful to each and every one of you for everything that you've done. And this is kind of a big part of the culmination of that. So it's not just a Kickstarter to say, hey, just give me money. There are so many amazing things as part of this. So first and foremost, I have to let you know, I have finally got all of the stuff that I needed to together. The tarot course that you guys have been asking me for the longest time is now ready. It's now complete. And so what's going to happen as part of that is, sorry, I've just got a notification to come up. Okay, turn off. So what's going to happen is, as part of the Kickstarter, should you so choose, you can get yourself a space on that course. So there are only 15 spaces. That's going to be the size of the course that I do. It's 12 weeks, 12 whole weeks. You, me, and whoever else is in the group, obviously. I'm going to take you through everything, and I'm even going to give you some of my trade secrets, my darlings. So if you would like to study tarot in the new year, if you're thinking about starting your own channel and you want to get sort of up to speed, or even if you just want to study tarot for yourself so that you can read for others, this is the course for you. So remember, there are only 15 spaces. There are crazy discounts on some of my biggest readings as well, and on top of that, I've designed a new moon calendar for the whole of next year, all 12 new moons, a full moon calendar for all 12 full moons for next year. I've also created two, yes, not one, but two 6-month tarot calendars where you get a card pull each day, and it talks about loads of other stuff in there as well. I'm super proud of all of the stuff that I've been working on, because I can tell you I put my heart and soul into it. So if you want to support Reydiant Reality in its next venture, which is finding us a permanent home, you guys know I have been moving around like a crazy person for the longest time, and I'm definitely ready to lay down some roots. So if you want to be a part of helping me make that goal a reality, for Reydiant Reality, no pun intended, I did not plan that, then please you know, hit the link in the description box below and find out. And to show you, no, this is whole sign astrology, and it is tropical. So as you can see in the little corner about there, that's all of the spiel. And it's not even, you know, it's not even just those tiers and stuff that I created for you. What I've actually done is something else that I haven't done before that I really wanted to bring you guys. So you are here at the inception of this project, and we're going to start this together. I'm going to be doing this from now until the 20th of December. And so every time the moon moves into a different sign, we are going to track it, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to pull cards. I have a whole set of cards that are laid out here. I'm hoping you can see them. Oh no, that's my ceiling. Let me know if you can see that. Okay, Bonnie, that's fine. Thank you for your input. This is how I'll be doing it. So if it doesn't work for you, please, no, what's the word? No harm done. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't faze me, as they say. Take from it what you will, leave what you don't. And that's kind of as much as I'll say on that. Can you guys see the yeah, Bonnie, I'm just gonna mute you because, to be honest with you, I'm really not in for it. Thank you for your opinion, but that's your opinion. So anyway, can you see the cards laid out? Can you see the cards laid out? Hopefully you can. Yep. All right. Awesome. So each one of these cards, I've left them face down. I don't even know what they are. I've left them face down so that I can be just as surprised as you guys. And basically what we are doing here is that's each one of those cards represents one of the signs of the zodiac. So you will all get a card pull, and we're not just looking at this, we're looking at three. We're looking at three aspects of ourselves. So in ancient astrology, the moon, and it's the moon that's important here, right? So these readings that I'm doing are specifically for your rising sign. Okay, so this is the part of it that's important. This is specifically for your rising sign, but it's the moon that we're tracking. All right, so throughout this whole process, what we're going to look at is the tarot and how it interacts with that. But before we get into that, I'll be talking about the moon and its condition. So what we need to know about the moon in ancient astrology is it represented your mind, your body, and it even spoke to the intuitive aspects and the indwelling wisdom aspect of your spirit. So you're going to have 3 card pulls for each one of the signs. We're going to go around the whole zodiac wheel. So it's not just 1 card or 2 this time. Yeah, unfortunately, I know you probably can't see all of it, but if I tell you Everything is kind of like if you could see the setup right now, you'd be in stitches for what it's taken me to get to this point. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to see like a little bit less. And I obviously the next time we do this, I will have it set up better so that you can see a bit more. Let me see if we can. I don't think it will make a difference, to be honest. All right, so here we go. Right, first of all, I'm going to take us back to the chart wheel. So as you can see there, when it pops in, I'm sorry because there's a delay, so I just need to make sure that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, great. Boo, 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 boo. All right, so thank you so much for being here, by the way, guys. I'm super nervous. I don't know if it comes across, but it's not like my usual lives. This is like a big deal for me. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this. So let's just do this. I'm just going to put a little broadcast out. I hope you guys are all well. I hope you're all feeling good, and I hope you understand the concept as well. So I'm fusing the two disciplines, and hopefully it will start to make sense as we get into it. All right, so let's go for it. Oh, thank you so much, Shani. Much appreciated. Okay, so guys, here we go. Remember what we're talking about here. So the moon, as I'm filming this at the moment, the moon is currently in Sagittarius, and the reason I've done that, there is a method to the madness. If I'd have done this while the moon was in Capricorn, as it's about to move into, and this is what we're looking at here, so you should be able to see on there, the moon is currently at 28 degrees of Sag. Sag moon is a much more vibrant moon. It's a much more open moon, and it's a moon where people tend to be a lot broader minded and open to more philosophical or even spiritual sort of concepts. So that's why I've chosen the Sagittarius moon to start this on. It's a very fresh moon. We've just had that really powerful, very intense Scorpio new moon. I can imagine how that was for you guys, because I remember what it was like for me. I had lots of really deep personal realizations. It was very powerful. It was very strong. So, you know, think about how that kind of translate, you know, the deep and the dark and the all of the Scorpio gives way to that broader sort of higher mind that actually wants more fun and enjoyment and wants to find the, not just the happiness, but the more elevated side of spirituality. You know, Scorpio is a very spiritual sign, but it tends to be a little bit sort of deep, dark and intense, whereas the Sagittarius, which is where the moon is now, it tends to be a bit broader, and it tends to be more open. It's almost like the moon can even breathe a bit better there. Right, so that's something to be fairly sort of happy about. Now, it's a very, very wide, I mean, it's not really much to talk about because it's, you know, Mars is currently at 15 degrees, so it doesn't really count. But by a whole sign, there is a trine there to the moon, which is a much easier sort of energy. You know, it's passed out of the exact trine and is moved into, you know, like a whole sign trine. So that being said, the moon is about to come into Capricorn. So over the next sort of 3, let's say 2.5, 3 days, the moon comes into Capricorn, it traverses through there. So we know about Capricorn this year. We're in a 4-year to start with. We had that massive conjunction at the beginning of the year. So we've been feeling and seeing and living under this Capricornian energy for a lot of the year, to be quite frank. And so what that's given us is a good understanding of doing the work, of showing up, of being consistent, of being responsible for the things that you want to do. Also, one thing that I love about humanity, whether you agree or you don't agree, 90, most of us have pulled together to be responsible for ourselves and each other, given the energy and the situation that we're all currently living under. And that part of it, I think, is wonderful. So as the moon comes into Capricorn, which it will do very, very soon, actually, before the day is out, it comes into Capricorn. This is where our focus goes from being in that sort of lofty, spiritual, higher minded, or even, wanting to learn kind of state. It comes into Capricorn and it starts to solidify whatever these ideas are. It starts to give you that sort of kick up the butt to say, right, okay, what is it that you need to know now? What is it that you need to start pushing towards? What is it that you really need to put the work in for in order to get to where you'd like to be? Like, it's all well and good having these big lofty goals, moon in Sag, but now how are we going to build that? How are we going to put it together? So as we come into tomorrow, I'm going to switch it forward. The moon comes in. So at this time tomorrow, the moon goes into, and it moves so quickly as well. This is one of the reasons it represents the mind and the changeable sort of energy of the human nature, let's say. It's at 12 degrees, right? So it's already heading towards those planets. So, so we're talking Pluto, we're talking Jupiter, we're talking Saturn. And that's going to be a really heavy, it is going to be a heavy and intense energy, because the moon is your feelings, it's your mind, it's the closest body to us ultimately, right? And it does have an effect on us on all aspects of human life, even the hair and nail growth cycle, which I've always found fascinating. So with that said, the quality of this moon as it comes in, so it's heading towards its first quarter on the journey that it's taking through Capricorn. So as it comes in tomorrow, we're going to start to feel that energy. And then as it gets into Wednesday, look at that. Luna is right in the thick of it. She's got Jupiter and Pluto, she's got Saturn, she's got the whole sort of mix. And, the moon being watery and changeable in a sign like Capricorn, which is hard and fast and, has that kind, when I say fast, I don't mean like fast. I mean like, hard and fast in that respect. It has that sort of element of, right, let's ground this energy. We don't necessarily have time to be emotional. We don't have time to think about how we feel. What we need to do is put foot to butt and get things done. This is about using this energy to the best of our ability, focusing on our goals, staying focused on what we need to do and where we need to go. Amber, sleep well, love. Thanks for popping in. So that's the moon, and as she goes through Capricorn, right? And then look at this. The day after, look how fast the moon moves. It will come straight into its first quarter, and then we'll be, getting a completely different energy as she comes into Aquarius. So that's that. Let's get into the cards, right? This is, there's my ceiling again. All right, so here we have the zodiacal wheel. What we're going to look at is your mind, your body, and your spirit through the tarot, right? This is going to give you an understanding of, it's going to give you an understanding of, over these next few days, as the moon transits through Capricorn, these are the energies, right? So what we're looking at here, got here in the middle, we have the moon. That's the card for the moon. I'm going to hold it up so that you guys can see it a bit clearer. Can you see that? Lovely, beautiful. So the moon in the sign of Capricorn, right? And the card that represents Capricorn is the devil. So as the moon comes into Capricorn, right, look at the energies of that. The moon itself as a card, changeable and watery, reflective, powerful in its emotional outlook, and also the ability to sometimes see echoes or shadows of things that aren't necessarily there. So how we look at this is always going to be subjective. On top of that, you've got the devil card, holding on to things maybe a little bit too tightly, possibly something that you are addicted to. Is there a mindset or an understanding that you are too rigid on, with, or for? All right, so let's have a look at this. Right at the top there, just above these cards, you have Aries. So for the Aries mind, we have the Ace of Swords. Look at that. The mind is strong, right? The mind and the mood that Aries is going to be experiencing, because it's your mind, your mood, and your insight, right? So in terms of your mind, it's strong, but it's very focused on making a decision over these next few days where the moon comes through Capricorn. This is going to be a big focus for you. So for Aries people, like I said, always look from the ascendant in this respect. This is going to be a time where your mood is going to be very decisive. It's going to be very focused, and your insight that's coming through from that Ace of Swords is literally, how do I make decisions based on the facts rather than what I feel, rather than what is at a visceral level. This is about using your mind, but about being sharp with it. For your body and your fortune, you have the Knight of Wands, right? So this moon could really get you in touch over the course of the moon coming through Capricorn. It could really get you in touch with not only how you utilize all of your physical energy, right? But it's also going to see you really tapping into the ideas that you've had, the directions that you've chosen through that Ace of Swords and that mind, so that you can start to move towards your goals in a decisive fashion that could improve your material situation. Remember, the moon in ancient astrology also represented fortune. It represented your material outlook and, you know, all of the things that you could acquire in that respect. And because this card also represents your body, also represents your instinct, right? And your instinct is going to be to act over this time. But remember, you've already had the thought here. So you use that energy of decisiveness, of really, you know, staying focused on what it is that you want, so that you can channel that innate energy that you have as an Aries, right? And then for your spirit or your soul, you have the moon card itself, right? Wow. Okay, so what does this suggest? It suggests that in terms of your spirit, your wisdom, and your intuition, the moon card is asking you to be aware of what you feel, but not ruled by what you feel. Remember, with the mind there and the body, this is about bringing these things into focus, but it's about really letting the mind lead over the course of these next few days while the moon comes through Capricorn. For Taurus and Taurus rising especially, so for your mind, you have the Two of Wands, right? So this is going to see you very focused on not only your bigger goals, but it's going to see you focused on how you show up in the world. It's going to see you really asking yourself, what is the next step? It's no longer about being here in the moment that you are. This is about you asking yourself, what is that next step? Where do I go from here? Where is it that I'm planning to go? And more importantly, what are the resources that I'm going to need in order to get there? So your mind is very much on the money, but it's not necessarily just the money itself. It's the people or the connections or even the steps that you're going to need to take in order to bring that money into you. When it comes to your mood, over this time, you could be feeling maybe not necessarily adventurous, but you could start to feel really determined. You could start thinking, you know what, I feel like I'm very focused on this and I'm sticking to it regardless. The insight that comes in from this, thank you so much, my Rocco. The insight that's coming in from this is really asking you to stay focused on those steps, those goals. If you've already created your network as well, the insight will come through them. The conversations that you have with people or with your network or your group, that's where you're going to find this. All right. For your oh wow, for your body, you have the Hierophant card. Look at that. That's you, right? Literally, that is you in your entirety. How amazing is that? What I love about this is it suggests that you are literally, and when it comes to your fortune, aligning with bigger bodies, right? So the way that you're going to bring these ideas into the tangible is by literally connecting to entities, people, companies, or associations that are bigger than yourself. Align yourself with something bigger, like the tortoise that hitched a ride on the back of an elephant, or whatever the story is. In fact, there's a woman called Denise Matthew who does human design on YouTube. Check her out. She's absolutely amazing, and she explains that story way better than I could. But yeah, please check her out. So in terms of the instinct, the way that, can we apply each of these to the corresponding house in our chart? You absolutely could, but you would have to obviously do all of the calculations yourself. I couldn't do that because it would just... this took me enough time to figure out and kind of put together. So, but yes, you absolutely could. If you look at it and start to impose these onto the wheel of your own chart, that would be phenomenal. You'd love it. And I'd really love to hear what your results are as well. Yes, Taurus, in terms of your fortune, aligning with bigger bodies, and then for your instinct, as I said, this is a time where you could really go with what feels like it is established. All right, so in terms of your instinct, your body, this is about what you feel, right? That is where you pay attention to these things. So you'll get those nudges from your body or from your instinct, like, you know, what is in this direction for me? And then for your soul, you have the Hermit card, right? So what does this tell you? It tells you that when it comes to your spirit, your intuition, and your wisdom, what is trying to make its way in here is that before you make any of these big, bold steps and start calling in these big entities, take a moment, take a breather, bring it back to your own understanding. Think about what the original goal was. What is the service that you truly want to offer, and how is everything and everyone out there going to facilitate that? So before you go out there, go in here, right? Remember what I always say, if the Hermit shows up for you, the High Priestess has a message for you. So for Gemini, and Gemini rising specifically, you have... in your mind, you have the Three of Wands, right? So this is going to see you really very focused on, well, not only on your money, but it's going to see you very focused on the opportunities that are already on your plate. So this is going to see you really focused on, right, okay, these are the ideas that I have. These are the avenues of, you know, these are the revenue streams that I have. These are the things that I'm studying, right? So this is what your mind is very focused on. And what this gives you as a mood, because that's you in your element, right? This is going to see you very jovial over this time. And maybe, you know, Moon in Capricorn, you're probably thinking like, hang on a sec. But you might be feeling that optimism more so than anybody else. And you know what? If that is the case, take it, run with it, work with it. Your insight from this card is that there is going to be a realization when it comes to business, when it comes to finances or money. There's a lot going on with money today. Interesting, isn't it? Because the moon's going to go into Capricorn. So, you know, aside from Taurus, it's one of the other, you know, money focused signs, let's say. For your physical body, or for your body, you have the Chariot card, right? So what you're going to be looking at here over the next few days, and what you're going to be putting your energy into when it comes to your fortune, when it comes to your instinct, Gemini, you are very focused. How do I speed up these results? How do, you know, and this isn't you looking for a get rich quick scheme. It sees you looking at the framework that is, paying attention to that, doing the whole Gemini thing of analyzing it, and then saying to yourself, right, now how can I fast track that? I understand what the usual way of doing it is, but how can I speed those results up? Love it. Absolutely love it. In terms of the instinct here from the Chariot, nourish and nurture everything that you already have going. Whatever plates are already spinning for you, Gemini, you need to put the nourishment into those. The Chariot is ruled by Cancer, right? So this is asking you, not only do you want to fast track the results, you need to look after and love on the things that you're bringing into the world, right? And for your spirit, you have the High Priestess. So the fact that you have this in your spirit, this is your spirit, it's your intuition and your wisdom. The wisdom that you need is going to come from you utilizing your natural skills to figure things out. This isn't, and also, if somebody gives you, over the next 2-3 days, if somebody gives you a hint, a tip, or a tidbit, or some sort of intuitive message that they have for you, pay attention, because the High Priestess is always things that are hidden, or things that are maybe even occulted that are coming to light. Love. All right. So for you, Cancer, you have in the mind the Justice card. So here, it looks like you are not only deliberating on something, but it kind of feels like you're almost in this place of, right, okay, I need somebody else to do this or to figure this out or to be a part of, not even to be a part of this, but I'm waiting on that piece of the puzzle in order for me to move forward. And because it's the Justice card, which by the way is yeah, actually, I don't need to mention that. It's not relevant for now. It might be tomorrow. Not tomorrow. A few days from now. What it also tells me is that you have so yes, you're waiting for that final piece of a decision, and as an insight, what it will give you is it's going to highlight to you over the next few days where you are indecisive. And usually, you know, cancers don't really usually suffer with that, but it's going to reveal to you where you are indecisive about something. For your body, you have the Five of Cups. So this is going to be a realization of what you need to release or what you need to let go of in order to have the finances, the fortune, those things that you want. You're going to have to, this is about you coming to that realization. And it also looks like whatever it is that you may have been waiting for, or that piece of the puzzle, whatever comes from the outside world, it's not going to be enough. You're going to be, it's like in the end, you're just going to say, you know what, I'll find what I need from elsewhere. The other thing with this as well, when it comes to your instinct, it's going to be that internal, physical, visceral nudge, especially for you because you're Cancerian. It's going to be that nudge that really says to you, okay, this is what I need to let go. Right, so over this course, make a serious business over these next 2-3 days while the moon moves through Capricorn. Make it a serious business, and you know, all of that energy, and plus the luminary, the moon, you know, your luminary is going to be in your opposite sign. So you're going to feel this, right? And this is going to be a time for you to make those cuts, make those severs. For your spirit, look at that, you have the Justice card. So whatever you have been struggling to let go of, or decided, you know, maybe it's a bit too challenging to release, what happens here is you will come into that understanding, yes, this is the right thing for me to release. For you, Leo, you have the King of Swords in the mind, right? So the mind is very focused on the work, very focused on the career over this time, but it's also focused on doing something the right way. And I think over the course of this moon through Capricorn, it's going to reveal to you, you might take on a bit more of a sullen mood, you may take on a bit more of a deeper sort of introspective mind, or you might be asking yourself how to detach from how you feel at this moment in time. True, moon in Capricorn, right? So that you can get shit done, so that you can make, excuse my language, so that you can make strides with something. Sorry, I'm speeding up because my battery looks like it's running out and I'm freaking out a little bit. For your next card, you have the Temperance card. And this is in your body, right? Which is your body, your fortune, and your instinct. And this is really saying to you, you need to tap into that spiritual aspect of things now. And actually, Capricorn, both very sensual and spiritual sign, believe it or not. Not a lot of people associate that with it, but those are two attributes that Capricorn energy actually has. While the moon is moving through there, your physical body is going to be asking itself, and it's going to be giving you prompts and hints to say, this is what I need more of, this is what I need less of, this is how I need to heal. So pay attention to those, you know, those nudges that you get from your body, because how you're meant to heal or what your body actually needs, it will highlight to you. So if you have any funky cravings or anything like that over the next few days, listen to them, because that's a message. For your spirit, you have, look at this, the Empress, right? Absolutely lovely. And what this kind of says to me is you are focused now on really creating, enhancing and building your dreams. But what it really comes down to is how much you enjoy being here, how much you enjoy what you're actually doing when it comes to the work, when it comes to the career, and ultimately with that Temperance card, are you really nurturing, nourishing, or providing for your body everything that it needs? In fact, not just your body, your entire being. Are you providing for yourself everything that you need in order to really get ahead? Where is it that you may be lacking in what needs to be done at this moment in time to step forward? For Virgo, In your mind, you have the moon card, so you are very reflective at this moment in time. It's going to see you really focused on what you're offering to the world. Your mood could take on not necessarily a bit, not sullen, but you could be really serious over these next few days. And one of the reasons being is because with the moon card, it kind of says that the insight that you have is coming from that sort of deep recess. It's coming from the subconscious. So if you notice certain things coming up, or patterns, or certain things, that's where they're bubbling up from. Allow your subconscious to to speak. That's what it does when it bubbles up. In your body, you have the King of Cups, right? So what this suggests is, in terms of your fortune, in terms of your instincts, what this gives you is this really deep, powerful understanding of how your emotions are either halting your progress or enhancing it. And when you have a, aside from this, when you have a handle on how that dynamic works, you only need direct your energy at something in order to bring it to fruition. It's a really powerful technique. So this could be, some amazing, some amazing manifesting energy for you, but not by doing, literally just by being and utilizing that sort of inner internal energy. Thank you so much, Lisa. For your spirit, you have, look at that, your direct opposite in the zodiac. You have the Hanged Man. So your spirit and your intuition are basically saying to you at this moment in time, pay attention to that energy, right? Pay attention to what comes up for you. And more importantly, with the Hanged Man card, it basically says there's no quick fixes here. You're going to have to be in it. And your intuitive or wisdom insight is coming from where you're overly giving, or where you may not be being as fair with yourself as you are with other people. For Libra, in the mind, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So again, very focused on the finances and the money, but more importantly, you're very focused on how to get ahead. This is about you. It looks like as well, for a lot of you, you're already planning, and your mood is very, very determined at this moment in time. As this moon moves through Capricorn, Libras are just going to be solid in the mind. So don't go for them, because I tell you, they'll have you wrapped up before you know it. The insight there is really giving you a different, not even a different understanding, but the insight there is literally, how do you start to create on the material world what your determination looks like in the mind. For the body, you have the Five of Swords. So as a health card, this is really asking you to pay attention to your body, and it's also asking you to pay attention to how the mind influences the body. So if you're really burning it out in that mental energy, don't be surprised if your physical body sort of throws up those symptoms. In terms of your fortune, it basically says what you already know, Libra. You're going to have to fight for this, but it is a fight worth having. All right, it's a fight worth going for. In terms of your instinct, this may be a time over this next sort of 2-3 days as the moon moves through Capricorn. It might be a time where you really have to stay alert, where you really have to stay aware of what you need to, what battles you're going to have to fight, right? Whatever they look like. For your spirit, you have the Magician card. So you are strong, you are powerful, and you are divine. And ultimately, what this tells you in terms of your intuition is the ideas that you're having now are a part of the future. Over this next sort of 2-3 days, pay attention to what comes up, because there's clues there into how you're going to create the abundance, the wealth, the success, the happiness, whatever it is. The insights are coming in here. Your intuition also asks you to pay attention to how you use your energy, right? And this is on literally an energetic or a spiritual level. For Scorpio, in your mind, you have the Three of Cups. So Scorpio, it looks like you guys are a little bit checked out at the moment. And so you need to bring yourself back into alignment, bring the mind and the body back in. My battery is low at this moment in time, and I'm really freaking out because I'd love to do this as one continuous run. It may be, guys, that I have to unplug the iPad, in which case we're going to lose the card view, and it will just be me waffling at you and holding the cards up. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was going to run my battery out so quickly. Ooh, all right, let's get through Scorpio quickly. For your mind, look at this. For your body, even, you have the Magician. And what this tells me is, in terms of your physical body, this is about you really being in the right space for yourself. It tells me as well, because it's coupled with the Three of Cups, you want and need more enjoyment at the moment, but what that looks like is more freedom. This is about finding more freedom for yourself. And doing what you can for that, right? In your spirit, you have the Star card, and that's beautiful because what it suggests to me is it's going to give you. Not only is it if it's your intuition is basically saying to you, your future is calling now, right? This is going to see you very, very focused on the future, and it's going to see you really having to play into that by it's going to see you having to really play into that by being present and also really listening to what your intuition tells you there is hope in. Where there is hope, there is life. Where there is life, there is attention, and where there is attention, that's where you're supposed to be going. This is really, really, like it's a potent message for you guys. They're wonderful cards. So I am going to have to disconnect the iPad because otherwise I'm going to end up disappearing. And I don't know if it's going to end the stream, but I truly hope that it doesn't. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so it's just me waffling at you for the foreseeable. My name is also Lisa Marie. How cool is that? All right, so Scorpio. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope you can still see me. Alright, let's make that a bit wider. Unfortunately, you get to look at my ugly mug for a while now. At least I had a shave for you. I know in the December videos I was looking a little bit haggard. A little bit more hobo rather than home. Alright, so Scorpio, yes. In terms of your mind, you had the Three of Cups, right? And let's pull these up actually. You need more enjoyment in your life, and the way that this comes in is by really paying attention to what it is that your future self is asking for you now, right? Asking you for now. What is it that your your end goal plans are asking you for, but in this present moment in time? So pay attention over this period, over this next 2-3 days. Really pay attention to what comes up, because that's going to be your intuition or your soul calling you to start doing now what needs to be done in order to start building that future that you truly want and need. All right, so Sagittarius, for your mind, you have the Queen of Wands, right? Love this. So it kind of suggests that your mind and your mood are very focused on feeling yourself, like literally, and being in that kind of energy where you're very focused on presenting yourself exactly as you are, where you're, living your authority rather than sort of commanding it. Do you know what I mean? Just having that natural air about you. And because this is in your mind and your mood, it could see you again. And when I say more jovial, I think it could see you a lot more focused on where you really need to give yourself the permission, right? Not seeking that from anybody else, but giving yourself direct permission to have the goals that you do, to have the enjoyment and the mindset that you do at this moment in time. I'm seeing this a lot as well. Not just for Sagittarius, but in general. You've got people at the moment that are super happy and super cool with everything, and then you've got other people that are kind of like, why are you so happy? You've got no reason to be so happy at the moment. And it's like, okay, not sure I agree with that, but fine, each to their own, as they say. So yeah, in terms of your body, you have the Lover's card, right? So this is like literally your direct opposite in the zodiac. And what it tells me is that when it comes to your body and your fortune, when it comes to your instinct, what this really gives you is an understanding of how the right connections are going to facilitate that, and more importantly, how you would never have to pull rank with somebody that truly understands who you are. You would never have to set a boundary with somebody that is truly aligned to and connected with you. Like, you know, we all have our human moments and whatnot, but you would never have to edit, censor, change, or adapt anything about yourself for somebody that is truly aligned to who you are and understands the place that you come from within, right? In terms of your fortune and your finances, if you're thinking about studying, when is a Sag not thinking about studying? Right? But if you're thinking about studying, gaining some new qualification or some new potential training or possibly professional training, this time over the moon coming through Capricorn is really asking you to pay attention to that, because you could get a lot out of it. You really, really could. For your spirit, you have the Death card, right? So we're talking here about your spirit, your intuition, and your wisdom, right? And this is going to be really, really, it's going to be at a very deep level. And so I will say this to you: over this time, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your physical instincts around certain people. And the reason I say this is because it is the Death card. You may find a friend, a colleague, a co-worker, you know, somebody that you have regular contact with. You might come into the understanding that, wow, you know what, I thought this person was really on my side or for me, and it's suddenly then revealed to you that, and you know how this is going to speak to you? Through your intuition, through your direct, visceral sort of intuitive hit. In terms of your the wisdom that you gain from that, this is about really giving yourself over to what your truest desires are and being okay with that. It's a very powerful and liberating place to be, but it's not easy. Some of us, you know, have real, not issues, but have challenges around accepting the things that we truly want. And when those things are highlighted to us, sometimes it can be a challenge, you know, especially if it throws you into some sort of... not chaos, but do you know what I mean? Like if it throws you into some sort of like, you know, it could be that. All right, so for Capricorn, as the moon is moving through your sign, what do you guys need to know? On a mind level, you have the 5 of Wands, right? So the big thing that's going to be highlighted to you, Capricorn, is that you don't have to do everything on your own, that you can outsource, that you can share. And, you know, this could see you... It might see you very competitive. It might see you really feeling like, well, you know, if I'm not good at this, if I'm not this person doing this and this person at the fore, what am I? You know, tailspin, absolutely. It could throw you into some sort of like, well, you know, if I'm not in the lead and I'm not the top dog, what's happening there? You know, like the world is not right. And that's not to say that you guys are... because I don't think that. I think for me, Capricorns are natural leaders. Yes, sometimes you can be a bit intense. I have 2 Capricorn sisters. I dated 3 Capricorns. My granddad, God rest him, was a Capricorn as well, and you know, so I know Cappy energy, and I understand it fairly well. I like to think anyway. But yeah, that 5 of Wands, in terms of your mood, you might be feeling more competitive, or you might be feeling that something or someone is trying to usurp you. That's not the case. In fact, utilize that. When people come in over these next 2-3 days, utilize them as a resource, right? Think of them as a support system or a network in some way. For your body, you have the 6 of Swords, right? So over the course of this next 2-3 days, when it comes to the physical health and vitality, especially when it comes to your fortune as well, this kind of suggests that you're moving into a space of ease. What it's really going to give you as an instinctual understanding, though, is that sometimes movement is best, whether this is changing the job, whether it's changing the environment or the home, whether it's, and when I say changing the environment, I know for me sometimes, like if I'm all up in here, I will literally just move my bedroom around. It stirs up the energy, it stirs up the environment, and it really kind of gets things moving for us. That Six of Swords is asking you to pay attention to that. When it comes to your finances and your fortune, as the moon in ancient astrology represented fortune, the fluctuations that you've been seeing, you could start to see an end to, and more importantly, you could start to realize, actually, you know what, I got through that relatively okay. It's going to kind of highlight to you where maybe you'd, you know, convinced yourself the sky was falling in and it actually wasn't. In your spirit, you have the sun. Look at that. Boom! Love it. All right, so the fact that you have the sun in your spirit, this is gonna, the moon coming into your sign is going to give you a real understanding of where to find your happiness, where to allow things to be movable and changeable, and where to tap into your own innate joy, right? Where to allow yourself to control your thoughts and your emotions rather than having them rule you. Excuse me. And what it's also going to give you, it's the Sun card, right? This is a blessing of some sort. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll be leaving all of these up so that you can go back and watch them, and you can track it as we track the moon and sort of see what she's doing and what's going on around that. You can check it all out while it's happening. I'm going to figure out a way to keep all of this connected, guys. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so teething problems, but I will figure out a way to do that before the next one goes up, so that when you see it, you can you know, I won't have to do any of this disconnecting stuff, and you won't have to just look at this. All right, for Aquarius, you have the Queen of Pentacles in the mind. This is going to see you really focused over the next 2-3 days, not only on your budget, but it's going to see you really focused on how you maximize your profits. It's going to see you how you can maximize everything that you have. And for those of you that are Aquarians or know Aquarians over this last year, I found myself being not like money obsessed or anything like that, but I found myself a lot more focused on money, resources, finances, the material realm. That's a very odd feeling for an Aquarius, because usually we're just like, meh, I don't care, as long as I can eat and, you know, I've got a place to live, I'm cool. Do you know what I mean? Like we tend not to really care. And because I had a lot more of this focus this year, I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, am I becoming one of those like really materialistic sort of people? And I was like, no, you're not. What is happening is you're growing, you're changing, you're evolving, and you're paying more attention to things that you hadn't before. So if you are an Aquarius and you see this kind of spike, you know, energy coming up for you, don't freak out. I've been going through it myself. When it comes to your mood, this is going to see you really asking yourself, Aquarius, as we're going to keep asking ourselves over this next year, especially when we see that big, great conjunction that comes in. What you're going to be seeing, what you're really going to be seeing and starting to notice here is where you can be of service, where it is that you can really show up for the world, and what it is that you can deliver to it that only you could deliver in a specific way. You're going to be really focused on this, and over this next 2-3 days, that Queen of Pentacles in the mind is giving you that, right, okay, so my mood and my insight is, where can I truly affect the most change? Where can I truly give the best of myself? And what does that look like in terms of the way that it comes back at me? Everything we put out into the world comes back to us in a reverb, right? For our body, we have the 8 of Cups, all right? So in terms of the body over this next 2-3 days while the moon moves through Capricorn, look at that, right? If you're an ascendant Aquarius, that's your true 12th house, right? The moon going through Capricorn is coming through your 12th house. It's illuminating your past. It's illuminating all of the things, 8 of Cups, what you should be letting go of, what you should be releasing, what you should be moving away from. What this really gives you, to find out, thank you. What this really gives you is an understanding of what you're ready to release. When it comes to your fortune, this is going to show you, it's going to highlight to you, what it's going to show you, what it's going to really highlight to you is, what is it that you're holding on to that you need to release that is blocking your pentacles? What is it that's stopping that money that's just waiting, or the finances, or whatever it is, you know, whatever you see, perceive abundance and prosperity to be? What is the block? What is the thing that is in the between that's waiting, that the universe wants for all of us? What is the thing in between you and that? Once you highlight that, you'll be able to release it. And that's what your Eight of Cups is about. In terms of your instinct, the Eight of Cups is going to not even intuitively, instinctively, you will know. Even if, and it's been like this before. I remember doing a reading for somebody previously. I think this was in June or July this year. No, it was much earlier than that. I think it was like April or May. Anyway, I said to her, you've got a trinket. There's something in your front room, like your living room, that you need to get rid of. I said to her, and you've been umming and ahhing about this thing, about what it is that you need to let go of, because it's got too many memories or energies attached to it. And she said to me, do you know what? I've been thinking about throwing out this item for the longest time. And I said to her, well, it's showing up here in your cards. Sometimes it's a thing, and sometimes it can be really small, really trivial, and sometimes it can be massive. Yeah, Momo, aligned, baby. And then for your spirit, you have the Judgment card, right? So isn't that relevant? Look at that, right? The card that represents the blast from the past, the ending of the old and the coming of the new. While the moon for Aquarius rising people is moving through your 12th house. 12th house of endings, past, culminations, completions, the house of self-undoing, the things that we do that get in our own way. How amazing is that, right? And then you get the Judgment card. And so your intuitive hints, your wisdom, pay attention to your dreams, especially those of you that have, what's the word? Like if you've got people that have recently passed, you know, this year, last year, the year before, pay attention. If they come to you in a dream or you constantly keep thinking about them, they have a message for you. Did you know that the Judgment card also represents your ancestors? Wherever it is that you're from, like in the world, the Judgment card is literally your, I got goosebumps, man, right? It's your people. Those loved ones that have gone before, that, you know, that paved the way for you to be here. So love that, really love that. And then finally for you Pisces, in your mind you have the Knight of Pentacles. So what this moon moving through Capricorn season is going to give you is an understanding of where you need to get not only more serious but more dedicated. And what you're doing is you're channeling that watery sort of Piscean energy that tends to be all out there and saying, right, I can use all of that. I'm connected to the friggin' cosmos, right? That's me, Pisces, jacked into all of it. Now I can focus that. Now I can put it into an action. Now I can take it to a place. What's being seeded for you over this next 2-3 days as the moon moves through Capricorn is you are cementing a specific goal. This is about you building the bridge between the point A and the point B that you see yourself at. I love this for you. I really do. What it will give you in terms of your mood, again, I think it's just going to give you, not even determination, I actually think that it's going to give you some clarity and some focus. When it comes to your insight, pay attention to what happens on your journeys this week. The Knight of Pentacles is a very movable card. On your way to and from work, on your way to and from school, on your way to and from the grocery store, or whatever it is that you're doing. Pay attention to what comes up on the journey. Do you see a certain bird that represents something to you? Did you speak to somebody that, you know, or walk past somebody and hear like a, what's the word? A conversation that just spoke to you at just the right moment. Pay attention to what happens on your journeys this week, because there's something in it for you. For your body, you have the Page of Pentacles. Ooh! Get your money. I love it. And because the moon represents your fortune, as the moon moves through Capricorn over these next 2-3 days, the Page of Pentacles, thank you so much, Lola. It's lovely to hear from you, sweet pea. I hope you are well. What it tells me as well with your Page of Pentacles, this is going to give you the instinctive understanding of what is going to work. Right? So this is like you have an idea, you something comes in and you're just like, I know it's going to work. You could have a million naysayers in your path saying, well, I don't know if this is the right time to da. And you just know, you just feel it with everything that you are. This is going to work, right? This is a beautiful energy for you. Trust your instincts this week. That bird comment really hit home. Listen, I'll tell you, there's been some moments where you flick over I got so many stories that I could tell you guys, but I have to stay focused. All right, so Pisces, for your card for the spirit, you have the Wheel of Fortune, luck, and fortune itself. The moon, as it moves through Capricorn, is on your side, right? You have at your disposal everything that you need. You are Pisces, right? And yes, you're a gentle sign, and let's be honest, I love you guys so much. My best friend in high school was a Pisces. She was the original adventurer. She was like a tumbleweed or a piece of seaweed. She could just go wherever and be totally cool with all of it. I used to marvel at that. Sometimes you can be scattered. Sometimes you can be sort of all over the place or in various different places, but that's also your superpower, that you are jacked into and have a little piece of all of the signs that came before you, right? You're tapped into the consciousness, and with the Wheel of Fortune, this is the tide of your life. This is the tide about to shift in a completely different direction. Remember, when the Wheel of Fortune shows up, it always highlights to you where your luck is about to change, right? Because that's the whole nature of having your cards read. What it tells me is, as well, on your intuitive or spiritual level, you will probably, over the course of this moon moving through Capricorn over this next 2-3 days, what's going to be highlighted to you is where you're supposed to go. This could be a holiday that you need to take, a retreat that you need to take. Thank you so much, Loney. A place that you're supposed to be, a sacred site that you're meant to visit. Something is going to be highlighted to you over this next 2-3 days about a journey that you, specifically you, Pisces, need to take. So, we have walked the zodiac, right? I'm going to leave this up so you can go back and watch it as many times as you want to really, delve into it. I can't remember who it was. A lady had a fantastic idea of using the cards that we've pulled to impose onto her chart. Obviously, you'll have to adjust it for yourselves, so that it makes sense for you. But I think that's a fantastic idea. I really do. I wish I had the time actually to do it like that for everybody, for all the signs, but you'd end up with like a 7-hour video, especially with the amount that I waffle. So that's it. We've walked the zodiac. You now have an understanding of what the moon moving through Capricorn is going to do, what it's going to go through, what it might highlight to you. We've clarified that through the cards specifically for your ascendant. That's the important part here. And what this is going to give you going forward is an understanding. So if you want to start a journal at the moment, like today, just to get some ideas of what's come up for you, and track that over the course of the next however many weeks or months, weeks, it's not going to be months, because this will end on December 20th. So with that said, if you want to study tarot with me, if you want to learn how I do it, if you want to, and trust me, I've worked really hard on this course. I told myself for the longest time, nobody's going to want to learn from you. You're not experienced enough. You don't know enough. I convinced myself of that for the longest time. And there is a part of me that still wonders if that's true, but I'm biting the bullet. If you want to study with me, hit the link in the description box below. Every single one of you, if you want to be a part of that Kickstarter, I give you all of my love for it. There are some amazing things. If you want heavily discounted readings, if you want to get the full moon or new moon calendar or the tarot calendar, it's all there. Click the link in the description box below and you can see what it's all about. Helping Radiant Reality find a home, a perfect bloody permanent home. That's what we're aiming for, because I'm done with all of this bloody moving crap. So with that said, thank you so much for being here to help me kick off this loving lunar series that we're going to be walking through from here on in. This is the reason I haven't been offering personal readings. This is what I've been working on behind the scenes, and I've poured literally my heart and soul into it. So from my heart to yours. I love you loads. I will see you again. And the next time we will be talking about when the moon moves into Aquarius. With that said, I love you so much. Have an amazing moon moving through Capricorn season, which is going to be like the next 2-3 days. And I will see you so soon. Take care, and I'll catch you in a bit.